Forward shaft lean, but why? So many videos on YouTube tell you to have forward shaft lean. Why? Who? When? Most golfers that I come across that have a handicap do not need forward shaft lean, especially if they don't release the golf club. Especially if they hit the ball low, especially if they hit the ball right. We do not want to have forward shaft lean too much in that scenario. Now, if I do want to have forward shaft lean for someone, the way that I like to do it is to have the club in line with the shoulder in one straight line. But the reason I encourage that move is because that golfer launches the ball too high. And they might get a 7-iron and launch it like an 8 or a 9-iron and they don't get their full distance out of the club. That's when we need to bring the flight down, specifically for that golfer. Don't do it just because YouTube says to do it. And lots of tour players do it. Lots of tour players have forward shaft lean, but their trajectory is going so fast, it goes from this point, fast up here, and then comes back down. When it gets up to this point, the wind affects it more. So their ball flight can deviate a lot more in those scenarios. So they need to forward shaft lean to bring that flight down, to get that peak down to that point so it doesn't get deviated as much. Someone with a slower swing speed will get that same launch, forward shaft lean. They'll get that launch and it will drop quicker. They never reach the height that they needed to reach to justify forward shaft lean. So it tends to be golfers that have more pace in their swing that need forward shaft lean. If we don't have the pace, we need to help the ball get airborne. I prefer that golfer who doesn't have the pace to get the ball airborne, and maybe you struggle with your 6-5 and 4-iron as an indicator. If you hit your 6-5, 4 and 3-iron really well, forward shaft lean is not going to damage you too much. But that golfer that can't hit their long irons because they do this too much, because they're told to, and they get stuck in here and they don't release the club, that golfer, I want to get them to point that top of that grip at the belt buckle because they need to get more height, because they need to help the ball get airborne, specific to that problem. Now, if I move my chest back over here and I try and do forward shaft lean, I've got so many things out of whack that I can't really do anything functional. If I have someone who has their chest over here too much, we're already presenting ourselves down to the golf ball, so we don't need more shaft lean to then exaggerate that movement. Ah, missed it. And then the fast golfers, the guys on tour that you see hitting golf balls, you often see them as a freeze frame at impact, and their freeze frames at impact here. Yes, that is forward shaft lean, but they are very fast. But what they don't show you often enough, in my opinion, is that they show them at this point. They get there, yeah, they get their hands ahead, but that club is continuing through that point. It's very rarely hit like this. But the interpretation of the club golfer is that we get the hands ahead at impact and they stay there and they get stuck. And if we get those hands ahead and we keep those hands ahead, we get that ball squeezing out to the right hand side. And if you're trying to hit a fade, it's going to help you encourage that fade. But again, it's that specific golfer that needs to do that specific move. If we want to get forward shaft lean, we want to get those hands ahead, straight line down here, we need to extend through, we need to release through that point. We need to get that club continuing through that golf ball. That's when it can work. I need that club head to carry on while our hands are ahead. That's when forward shaft lean can work. But again, it's specific to each golfer. It's not a generalized, everyone do this, it will make you better move. I hope that makes sense and I haven't waffled too much. Jump in the comments if you're not sure about anything. Remember, you are an individual golfer. Not every video is going to help your swing. Just think, will that move help my ball flight? Do you hit it too low? Will that move make the ball go higher? Do you hit it too high? Will that move make the ball go lower? You have to work out your own way from all the information that you get on YouTube. I'm not always right. Other golfers, other YouTubers aren't always right either for you.